Hey everyone, welcome back to Worth Coin channel where we dive deep into the world of coin collecting. Today we're talking about one of the most iconic coins in US history, the Jefferson Nickel. But not just any nickels, we're talking about the ultra rare ones. In this video, I'll share the top 6 rarest Jefferson Nickels, their history, and their incredible value. If you've got one of these, you could be sitting on a treasure. Let's get started. 1966 Jefferson Nickel. To understand the significance of the 1966 Jefferson Nickel, we need to go back to the 1960s. This coin was minted during an interesting period in U.S. history, both economically and socially. The 1966 Jefferson Nickel was struck at a time when the U.S. Mint was producing coins without mint marks due to the Coinage Act of 1965. This act was signed into law to combat a coin shortage caused by hoarding, particularly of silver coins. Between 1965 and 1967, the U.S. Mint did not use mint marks to discourage collectors from hoarding new coins. That means no D for Denver or S for San Francisco mints, just a simple, unmarked nickel produced by the Philadelphia Mint. The Jefferson Nickel itself has been in circulation since 1938, designed by Felix Schlag, a German-American sculptor. The obverse or front features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, while the reverse shows Jefferson's famous home, Monticello. Let's take a closer look at the design of this coin. On the obverse side, you have a bust of Thomas Jefferson facing left, with the inscription "In God We Trust" on the left and "Liberty" in the date 1966 on the right. Jefferson's hair detail is an important factor in determining the condition and value of the coin. Flip it over to the reverse side, and you'll find Monticello, Jefferson's home, along with the inscriptions "E Pluribus Unum United States of America" and the denomination 5 cents. The detail in the steps of Monticello, also called full steps, can greatly affect the coin's value. If you find a 1966 nickel with full steps on Monticello, it could be worth significantly more. Now, let's talk about mintage. In 1966, the U.S. Mint produced a whopping 156.2 million Jefferson Nickels. Since the Philadelphia Mint struck all these coins and there were no mint marks in that year, they are not particularly rare. However, certain factors like condition errors and full steps can make a big difference. So, what is the 1966 Jefferson Nickel worth today? In circulated condition, a 1966 nickel is generally worth its face value 5 cents. However, if you have an uncirculated or high-grade specimen, especially with full steps, it could be worth much more. According to the latest market prices, an uncirculated 1966 Jefferson Nickel without full steps could fetch anywhere between $1 and $3. But if your coin is graded in higher conditions like MS65 or higher with full steps, it could be worth upwards of $100 or more. 1954 Jefferson Nickel. Now, the 1954 Jefferson Nickel specifically was minted at a time when America was transitioning out of the post-war era and into a time of economic growth. While it doesn't have the famous war nickel composition that included silver, it still holds an important place in numismatic history. In 1954, the Jefferson Nickel was produced at 3 different mint facilities: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The mint mark can be found to the right of Monticello on the reverse side of the coin. If your 1954 Jefferson Nickel has a D or S mint mark, it's from Denver or San Francisco respectively. If there's no mint mark, it was minted in Philadelphia. Let's break down the mintage numbers for the 1954 Jefferson Nickel. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, 47,684,050 coins. Denver Mint D, 117,183,060 coins. San Francisco Mint S, 29,384,000 coins. As you can see, the Denver Mint had by far the largest production run, while the San Francisco Mint coins are much scarcer by comparison. So, what is your 1954 Jefferson Nickel worth today? The value of this coin largely depends on 2 factors: its condition and whether it has any rare varieties. For a basic breakdown. Circulated condition. Philadelphia, no mint mark, $0.10 to $0.50. Denver D, $0.10 to $0.50. San Francisco S, $0.20 to $0.75. Uncirculated condition MS60, MS65. Philadelphia, $1 to $8. Denver, $1 to $6. San Francisco, $2 to $10. Of course, values can change depending on the coin market, so these numbers are just a guideline. If you have a coin graded in mint state or higher MS67 and above, it could be worth significantly more. Now, let's talk about what collectors really love: rare varieties and errors. While the 1954 Jefferson Nickel doesn't have any major recognized varieties, there are some double die errors and misaligned die strikes that you should be on the lookout for. For example, a double die on the reverse side particularly around the Monticello lettering or the steps of the building, can increase the value of your coin dramatically. These errors can fetch anywhere from $25 to $100 or more depending on the severity and condition. Always check your coins under magnification to see if you've struck gold, or in this case, nickel. In 1954, proof Jefferson Nickels were also produced at the Philadelphia Mint. These proof coins are struck with special dies and polished planches to give them a mirror-like finish. Proof coins from 1954 have an even higher value, often ranging from $30 to $150 depending on the grade. If you come across one, you're in luck. 1970s Jefferson Nickel. The Jefferson Nickel was introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, this 5-cent coin features Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse, while his iconic Monticello home is showcased on the reverse. The coin has remained largely unchanged since its release, aside from minor adjustments. Now let's zoom in on the 1970s Jefferson Nickels. There were 3 main minting locations during this period: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, each denoted by a mint mark. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, Denver coins have a D, and San Francisco coins carry an S. The 1970s produced millions of these nickels, but the coin's value can vary depending on the year, mint mark, and condition. Let's break it down by year. Here's a quick rundown of the different 1970s Jefferson Nickels and their estimated values in circulated and uncirculated condition. The 1970 Philadelphia Jefferson Nickel had a mintage of over 250 million. In circulated condition, it's typically worth face value, but in uncirculated condition, it could fetch around $0.50 to $1.50. The Denver Mint produced over 515 million nickels in 1970. Like its Philadelphia counterpart, circulated coins have little value, but uncirculated examples can bring in around $0.50 to $2. Proof coins from San Francisco are more collectible. The 1970s proof nickel, made with a high polish finish for collectors, typically ranges between $1 and $5 depending on its condition. For each year from 1971 through 1979, values for circulated coins are usually only face value. However, uncirculated coins are usually only face value. However, uncirculated coins, especially those from Denver, tend to range between $0.50 and $3 depending on mint year and condition. Proof versions from the San Francisco Mint are also more valuable, especially if they are deep cameo proof examples. Now let's talk about where the real money might lie. Error coins. Certain 1970s Jefferson Nickels with minting errors can be worth much more than a regular issue coin. Look for these common errors. These happen when the die strikes without a planchet blank coin in place, leaving impressions of the obverse and reverse die on one another. Die clash nickels can be worth anywhere from $50 to over $200, depending on the severity of the clash. 1965 Jefferson Nickel. Now let's talk about the 1965 Jefferson Nickel. This year is significant in U.S. coin history because it marked the end of silver in American dimes and quarters, though nickels retained their copper-nickel composition. From 1965 to 1967, the U.S. Mint stopped putting mint marks on coins due to the coin shortage, making this coin a bit unique. The 1965 Jefferson Nickel is made of a 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy, weighing exactly 5 grams and with a diameter of 21.21 millimeters. The obverse features Thomas Jefferson's bust with the word Liberty and the date 1965, while the reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's home, along with the phrase E pluribus unum in United States of America. In 1965, there were over 136 million Jefferson Nickels minted. Since there was no mint mark due to the coin shortage issue, collectors sometimes have difficulty identifying where the coin was minted. However, these large mintage numbers mean the 1965 Jefferson Nickel isn't considered rare, though condition plays a major role in its value. So how much is a 1965 Jefferson Nickel worth today? Well, it primarily depends on its condition and grading. In circulated condition, most 1965 Jefferson Nickels are worth only face value, about 5 cents. However, if you have an uncirculated or high-grade specimen, you could see values ranging from 30 cents to $1.50. For coins graded MS65 mint state, the value could rise to $10 or more, especially if the coin has exceptional luster or strike quality. Now, here's where things get interesting. Some 1965 Jefferson Nickels with errors or varieties can be worth much more. Look out for coins with die cracks, double dies, or off-center strikes. These can be worth anywhere from $20 to over $100, depending on the severity of the error. To determine the value of your coin, you'll want to assess its grade. This involves checking for wear on the high points of the coin, like Jefferson's hair and the steps of Monticello. The more detailed these features are, the higher the grade and value of the coin. If you're unsure, you can always take your coin to a professional grader or use online resources to compare your coin's condition to others. 1942 Jefferson Nickel. In 1942, the United States was deeply involved in World War II, and nickel, a key material in the production of the Jefferson nickel, was needed for the war effort. As a result, the U.S. Mint began experimenting with alternative materials. This makes the 1942 Jefferson Nickel a unique coin with two major varieties. There are actually two different versions of the 1942 Jefferson Nickel. Regular 1942 nickel made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, like the nickels from earlier years. 1942 P-War nickel starting mid-year, the mint switched to a composition of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. These are known as war nickels. The easiest way to tell them apart is by checking for a large mint mark above Monticello on the reverse side. The war nickel features a bold P for the Philadelphia Mint, the first time a P mint mark was used on U.S. coinage. Identifying your 1942 Jefferson nickel is simple. Check the date and mint mark. The non-silver 1942 nickels will have no mint mark if they were minted in Philadelphia, or a small D or S for Denver and San Francisco. For war nickels, the large PD or S mint mark will be prominent above Monticello, but don't stop there. Grading the condition of your coin is crucial in determining its value. Coins in higher grades like mint state or uncirculated are worth significantly more than those showing heavy wear. So how much is a 1942 Jefferson nickel worth today? Well, it depends on a few factors: variety, condition, and mint mark. Circulated $0.10 to $2. Uncirculated $5 to $20. 1942 PD S War Nickel Silver. Circulated $1.25 to $3. Uncirculated $15 to $40. However, if your war nickel is in high grade or has been certified by a grading service, its value can rise dramatically. For example, an MS65 graded 1942 P war nickel can fetch up to $150 or more at auction. These nickels aren't just valuable for their silver content, they're a tangible piece of World War II history. The 1942 war nickel marks a time when even everyday coins played a role in the war effort. This makes them a must-have for history buffs and collectors alike. 1978 P Jefferson Nickel. The 1978 P Jefferson Nickel was minted in Philadelphia, part of a series that started in 1938. This coin features a design that pays homage to Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. On the obverse, we see a profile of Jefferson, surrounded by the inscription, "In God We Trust, Liberty." In the year 1978, the reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, with the words "E pluribus unum" and 5 cents. The Jefferson nickel was introduced during a time of economic change. The United States was recovering from the Great Depression, and coins needed to be durable and cost-effective. The nickel was originally made from a combination of copper and nickel, a standard that continued until World War II, when the composition changed to include silver. In the 1970s, the U.S. Mint was focused on producing coins that met the needs of a growing economy. The 1978 P nickel was part of this effort, and it was minted alongside the 1978 D, which was produced in Denver. The 1978 P Jefferson Nickel had a mintage of approximately 123 million coins. This relatively high number means that the coin is widely available today, making it less valuable than other rarer dates in the series. While the 1978 P doesn't have any major errors or varieties that are widely recognized, collectors often keep an eye out for well-struck coins that show high detail, especially in the hair and on Monticello. So, what's the value of the 1978 P Jefferson Nickel? In circulated condition, it typically sells for around 5 to 10 cents. However, in uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS65 or higher, values can rise to $1 or more. Premiums can also be found for coins with unique characteristics or those graded by professional grading services like NGC or PCGS. If you're a collector, look for high-quality examples to enhance your collection. If you're interested in adding the 1978 P Jefferson Nickel to your collection, here are a few tips. Check for quality. Look for coins with minimal wear and good detail. Learn about grading. Understanding coin grading can help you assess value accurately. Explore variety. While this coin is common, consider looking for other dates and mint marks to expand your collection. Thanks for joining us today to learn about the 1978 P Jefferson Nickel. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more coin content. What's your favorite nickel design? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep collecting.